Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Star Ladder I-League Star Series Season 3 American Qualifier action. We're in about day 3 of American Qualifier action right now. It's Team Freedom taking on Team NP. We're finally going to be jumping into game number 2 after, unfortunately, some delays with the coordinator and such. We are finally underway here. I'm Coddle Guy. I'm back again with Rhyme. Hi, Rhyme. Are you still with me there? How'd you enjoy your break?
Oh, it was great.
Reserve time.
Sat around hoping things would work out, and kind of giggled to myself reading the chat every now and again. It was fairly the storyline was pretty good. Envy kept coming in, then he couldn't say anything to anyone, and then the route had to get restarted, and then they had to do all kinds of things. It was very fun to watch.
Dota's just always that exciting of a game. Every day brings new adventures, new difficulties, not difficult, new challenges that we get to overcome. You know, yesterday it's like the release of Dark Moon, which of course brought in some fun little adventures. And today it seems like they're still trying to make sure everything is kind of in working order here. But now we're finally get to have some good old competitive Dota here, Rhyme. And let's just go ahead and get into the draft for this one. It does look like MP are going to be having first pick on this go around. Freedom, this time they ban out the Lone Druid first and foremost. No more of that Lone Druid funny business. That's got to go. They get rid of the Lesh, MP, no Drow, and screw you, Mike, and your Abaddon. So that's got to go as well. What do you think about the bans already and the early respect to the Lone Druid? Do you think it was warranted?
Yeah, I think the Lone Druid ban was warranted. I think it was the main reason that NP could just end. But he's back.
He's back.
Why is he back?
Shadow Demon
I
just
don't
has
want him
like
to be
everything
back.
going for him, you know? He's got everything. Great disable, great save, great amplification. He scales wonderfully throughout the whole game as the opponents get stronger, his illusions get stronger. I mean, you really can't go wrong. He looks like super badass. Like, he's got to be one of the more badass looking heroes in the game. So, well, I mean, why not pick him, you know?
Well, Team Freedom had the choice of going for Luna themselves, or you can block pick Luna, but you never want to play Luna against SD. It's a nightmare. So they go for the next best alternative, Rubik. So you can Rubik's is generally nice, but you can steal Disruption, and then you can become Shadow Demon version 2. And Underlord is just generally pretty good against every single hero that you pick with SD. And then it's the magic damage man. So NP picking him first phase. I think he was picked later on in drafts during Dota Pit, and then as the games went like later and you got further and further into the tournament, everyone went, he's actually pretty good. And Secret started just first towing him every single game.
I want to
say, and then he started
say,
getting first phase banned.
right at the start, we actually started seeing Ember Spirit. I want to say he was one of like, even after 2 drafts, I remember posing the question: is Ember Spirit going to be the face of Dota Pit? Sure enough, it seems more like that could have been the case. Or Lone Druid, you could have made the argument because he started showing up as like the playoffs and the real action began. But yeah, Ember Spirit was always pretty relevant throughout that whole tournament here, and we already knew Envy to be a big Ember Spear player. He was, you know, as we know, in his time with Secret too. But I haven't seen so much Envy play like the New Age Ember, Magical Ember, Veil Ember. I mean, I'm sure he knows what he's doing there, but I mean, what's the answer for something like that? We've seen some. I was saying that there wasn't enough teams going for more control, like disruptors and stuff. But do you think there's something else Freedom can just kind of pick up for like Eagle or Jubei, whoever's not playing the Rubik, to kind of help keep the Ember contained?
There are not that many heroes that do that well versus Ember. Rubik is actually, he does okay. Because you can lift and stuff, and you can have null field, which is pretty nice to just have. Nyx is one of the main heroes that you kind of want to have. He does like lane counters to him, which is like Shadow Fiend and Jug and all kinds of things like that. But Ember really, he just surpasses all counters and stuff because he will do a lot of damage in any given game. His itemization is very flexible. You can Radiance, Mjolnir, Blade Mail, usually Octarine in every single game. You can go Dagger, Boots of Travel, so you can split push like old Ember used to do, you know. He's just very, very flexible. And you can play him safe lane or middle. He can be the one role that you give lots and lots of farm to if he's good against all the enemy heroes, or he can be the space creative for your like farming middle hero or your farming safe lane hero. It really is very, very flexible. Similarly to how you can first pick Lone Druid, you can do something vaguely similar with Ember as well. So, Team Freedom now, they ban out the Sardar, they ban out the Darkseer. both very, very good with Ember Spirit. And now they won't be picking Doom and they won't be picking Evoker, but I'm interested to see what they go for because last time they third picked Tusk, but yeah, it is the Nyx Assassin.
But obviously, a support Nyx, like with Mike already seemed like
Yep.
taking Reside onto Underlord. Is there any like pro or con to having to play in a more four-position Nyx that might not get the benefit of really building up so much money? I mean, or it's that, or he does still play it a bit greedy, and then you have the Rubik who's kind of left starving. Like, is the Nyx going to be able to get to a point where he could still pose a threat to the Ember, or does he have to just wait until like late game where he might be able to at least get the bare minimum to make things work?
Well, as soon as Nyx gets 6, he's a threat to Ember. He's very, very good at finding him. He's the best hero in the game for setting up ganks on him. Team fighting as Ember versus Nyx is also very, very worrying if there's a large amount of burst damage on the side of the Nyx, because any given fight you could be flame guarding and the Nyx just runs into you, stuns you, and then you get bursted. It's very, very, very difficult to play a clean game as Ember. You kind of have to hope that your team will give you a little bit of leeway to work with. But also, they've got Underlord and Rubik, both heroes very, very just tank up the whole team. So currently, Freedom, I think I like their heroes versus Ember Esty so far. I really, really do. And I think that as long as they can get decent core matchups from now on, and they can survive through the early game, I think they've got a good draft for the first 3 picks.
I'm just so intrigued that MP opted to ban like the Doom over something like the Nyx that was like already mentioned and seems like more of an obvious kind of counterpick to something like the Ember Spirit. I mean, Doom is really not picked up by anybody unless it's like a Freedom only special, but another offlaner comes up from Freedom here, and the Centaur Warrunner here. Rhyme, where's the Centaur going? Is this a safe lane farming Centaur, or is Mike taking this?
I
And his
assume
Underlord
so.
is doing something else? Like this is a lot of like, these are a lot of big badasses here on Freedom already.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely safe lane Centaur. I mean, I don't see anything else being viable whatsoever.
So, or they're trying to pit it like, does he have a good matchup against the Ursa? Like, are they trying to make a one-on-one between him and the Ursa happen or something? I don't know. It's just a very unorthodox pick, but it's Freedom after all, so.
I think they just want to take their safe lane tower very quickly. They want to get like up to fighting shape very, very quickly, because they have like they're gonna get the Underlord mech like some point after the Centaur dagger. Like they just want stuff to fight with. Their last hero is going to be something that farms and does very well into the late game, assuming they want to have some hope at that point. Because it could be pretty much anything. But
and
Centaur, yeah, it's interesting.
Now Mirana, I mean, we saw Mirana last game by MP. That was a Envy Mirana. Not looking to be the case this time. Just kind of says to us that MP still just value the hero enough to even throw it into a support position, which don't get me wrong, the Shadow Demon Mirana pairing has been a staple, if you will, for a long time in Dota. Just obviously can pose a threat to or outmatch any lane in the early game. Is there any still thoughts hanging around this support Mirana where you still have to like get a lot done in the early game where you're at risk of just kind of falling off a bit, or is there still potential for her to farm up that Agnes and be something special, you know?
I don't like support Podem in this game, but I don't like core Podem in this game either. Like Rubik and Nyx just make it. You don't really like playing any kind of hero that's dependent on magic damage against those two.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit
just
awkward because if it's not going to be a right clicker, like all she has is that spell spam, and at some point Underlord's just going to get all the utility, or even a Hood, or him, or Centaur, or someone, and they're just they're gonna laugh at Mirana. They're gonna laugh at the damage she can do.
Yeah, I don't like the Centaur pick, but I'm gonna have to come to terms with that. But yeah, Sniper ban coming out from NP, so they just know that Freedom need something that's probably going middle, and it's probably going to carry pretty hard. So yeah. Oh, Axe.
Alright, well, speaking of big badasses here, NP, they'll get one of their own, and their off lane, MSS Axe comes out now.
I don't, like, NP just, they've picked a lot of heroes that they just need to go in. Like, NP, all of their heroes, they need to be in the middle of the fight. Like, Mirana needs to Starstorm people, like, get a good arrow and then leap in, to do damage. Axe needs to blink in, like, but Freedom, like, their heroes are really good at dealing with something like this. If this Ursa doesn't get off to a good start, I think that he's going to have a very, very rough game. Like, yeah,
Well, they don't have to worry about being kited around. I mean, Freedom is just as much want to be in that fight as MP do. I mean, if anything, Ember has more of the mobility and kiting skills of this whole group. But yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if they're gonna have to way to like lock them down. So many strength heroes. You think that like Necrophos or something would be a valid option at some point, but here we're looking at Freedom probably going to be going for you said what, like their mid lane grab? So
Yeah, it's the milling.
and Invoker's not an available option, so you got to get
TA
something.
maybe.
TA?
I don't know. It's it doesn't seem that great, like especially versus Axe and Ember, but they need something that's relatively decent middle that can go into late game.
10
OD
seconds
is there. I'm not sure if they want him.
Get a Viper,
He-
just be dirty against
5
the Axe and the
seconds
Ursa.
remaining.
I think OD or Quat probably. Yeah, OD. There we
Okay,
go.
OD.
Yeah, it had to be OD, I think.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, I know you're just kind of like a bit skeptic, as I am, about the Centaur Warrunner like safe lane pickup here, but
I think I think I can like it if it's like an OD mid because, yeah, it's kind of they're just a lot of stuff to fight. Like, you never want to be playing OD when you don't have heroes to go in for you. Like, OD is the kind of hero, he doesn't start the fight himself up until like the 50-minute mark where he's got a blink and a hex and a BKB and a refresher. So up until that point, you want someone else to go in first. You want someone else to tank the spells. You want to find some support and Hurricane Pike him and then ult him to death. Okay.
yeah.
And you can't do that if you don't have these kind of Underlords and Nyx Assassins and Centaurs running in, especially against Axe and Ursa, because both the Axe and the Ursa, their number one mission this entire game is going to be find the OD and hit him on the head. So,
10
But are they going to
seconds
be able to do that?
remaining.
It feels like it's still going to take some time before they can even do that. Like, what about like right at the
5
beginning of the
seconds
game? Like, can
remaining.
Freedom really do anything with that? Like, they only have the Rubik, really. I mean, you have Mirana Shoutim on the other side. I mean, obviously they can just get started as far as making ganks and pressure happen in the other lanes. Can Freedom do that as well with whatever their other support's going to be, which is likely to be the Nyx Assassin, it would appear?
I think they get more out of the lanes, I think. Freedom have enough, like, their Nyx is probably going to be roaming around a lot. The Rubik is going to be chain pulling top. The Centaur's most likely going to free farm. It's just going to be a question of if the SD and Podem can roam successfully onto the OD. If they can, then they're they're in a good position for the mid game. But I think, yeah, the onus is completely on MP to do stuff, and they do have the tools, so they just need to get good smokes, I think.
How do we still have pauses at the start of games? Didn't they add in like a 30-second strategy window where you can just like buy everything and...
Oh, not in CM mode, no.
Oh, not in
CM
CM. Okay, we have to still
Yep.
just wait as everyone's clearly connected in the game. But, okay, now we're allowed to play. All right, interestingly enough. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound bitter there at all. It's already been a long day.
Oh, no, I completely understand.
But we'll have to see here how things work out. It does look like it's going to be Rose sporting the Mirana for this go around here. MSS, no surprise on the Axe. Envy back on his fabled Ember Spirit. And away we go. No funny business, you think? Aggro lane setup. Potential from maybe Freedom on this one?
I'm feeling Freedom's draft in this game, to be honest, but it's really all up to SD Podem and the Axe, I think. If they can find the right moves at the right point, then I think OD will be going down at some point.
Well, we'll see if that's going to be the case or not. Early smoke to move out here from Freedom down south. Mike has already been keeping watch as he's hanging in this top lane here, so it does seem like they're going to be set up an aggro here on the bottom lane for Freedom side while letting Mike do his business in hopes of a one-on-one matchup against MSS's Axe, but it looks like NP are actually doing a shift themselves. Envy for now is at least heading all the way up there, but
no.
I'm curious to see where MSS
He's
plans
got
on
arrow
going.
skilled,
30 seconds
but he's definitely dead.
Oh, they get the jump onto Rose, it looks like, and as mentioned, with Arrow already leveled up and no leap, he's not going to be able to make it away. First blood, just like that, goes to Freedom.
Yep, so they start off with the aggro try. SD, this is like the best way that they can neutralize the SD Podem roaming. Just make sure that they have to sit there and protect their carry hero, whatever it may be. But they are going to move the SD Podem top with the Ursa, so...
The battle begins.
But IX Mike is fine with this. He's probably going to be okay here. And Centaur is going to be free farming away for however long he likes. And Axe is probably going to start off jungle. So... yeah, NP have this weird setup now where their supports are going to be half laning, which means the main winner of this is probably going to be Tomato, assuming that he's fine 1v1ing an Ember Spirit, which I think any OD player should be.
Yeah, you know, it comes down to the matchup on paper versus the player skill, of course.
Oh, yes.
Just, you know, casual
Press
pause
that
right.
pause button.
Well, this one coming
Press
in
it
from Mike.
again.
It looks like they need a moment here. A mic problem coming
Wow.
out, but, you know, they are... We got to remember, Freedom are also boot camping. They're at Team House here. So, you know, they're taking it serious, man. They have this. I'm sure they have DAC qualifiers, future Kiev major qualifiers. They're looking at breakthrough, you know, going from that tier 2/tier 2.5 team up to maybe a 1.5.
Mm-hmm. It's really just a question of if they can start taking games reliably, like if they can find drafts that are comfortable. I think Dora's in a... Lots of people are figuring out a different way to play the game. I think everyone's just kind of going, if we get one carry hero and then lots and lots of sustain for that carry hero, we're going to win. You can see it lots in the European Dora as well. And I think what we're seeing here is kind of everything's morphing over to that as time progresses. But Tomato should... He's getting double waved very early on, but he should be fine, I think. Yeah, he's going to take the CS lead fairly early on, I think.
Like you do on your OD here, trying to abuse the prison, take advantage of the last hits, and really take it to Envy. And we'll see. Envy obviously pretty well versed with this matchup, how things will decide to progress up there. Owie at the top lane, though. Bit of an unfavorable matchup as he's still left to kind of fend for his own in the matchup against the Knicks. And, of course, Mike's Underlord continues to get poked quite a bit. MSS is going straight to the jungle nearby, so will not be there to assist him. And obviously with the support staff kind of rallying around this bottom lane, I don't know. I don't know if I would be super confident in NP's early laning stage, unless you feel like, you know, MSS doing the greedy jungle thing, which he's already level 3, you know, will be a big payoff for him.
Yeah, he's waiting to use the shrine with Howie right here. Oh, okay, no, he's not. Yep, okay, so there's a go bot. BSJ is going to get disrupted, and he's going to completely ignore that.
Ooh,
And
Owie
Owie's
tries to
gonna-
go in
oh,
for
no.
Eagle. Gets a bit too greedy for that one. Mike is going to be forced to dish out the nuke, and they will be able to bring him down. All right, he thought he would be able to get the heads-up turnaround and maybe get that one extra slash and finish onto Eagle, but Eagle baits him in just enough for them to get the kill. Tough lane
So-
for Owie, though.
Yeah, I think the Ursa falling behind here is going to be the main thing that NP have to worry about. Like, it's going to be up to NV to run around and kind of salvage the early laning situation, because SD Ponham, they're not going to get much. And Axe is... he's got a Blink Dagger to go and get, so... Yeah, it's going to be... I think mid lane is the lane to watch for now. There's something happening here.
Yeah, we got Jubei and Viz stalking SVG as he is making his own approach to the mid lane, looking to help out NV a bit. Nearby Jubei will be able to scout out and see that MSS is farming. But obviously no action to come of it. He actually goes in for the snipe, takes the fade, snipe, and okay, there's a call though. Cancels the TP. Jubei may be in a bit of trouble here. Needs to start running towards this bottom lane. SVG's en route, but without boots, might not be able to get close enough. MSS though, gets a few right clicks in and has a battle hunger in just 4 seconds time. Jubei's gonna try to go. He actually gets the incredibly strong creeps and does get denied by them. A little awkwardness there. Draws MSS away, and he's able to deny himself.
Yep, I'm just... Envy's suffering a bit here, but actually he's doing... It's about as even as you can expect, but he's just it's getting a bit annoying now. Odie's getting closer and closer to 5, which is the point where the Astrals just don't stop coming.
Ooh, look at this. SVG is rotated up to the top lane where they're looking to make a go on IX Mike to get a good disruption and a takedown. This time Mike does not have the assistance of Eagle nearby, gets caught out on his lonesome, and NP are going to be able to get themselves on the board with a takedown. In a lane that started out to be what looked like the weakest and most concerning lane for MP, now they suddenly get a kill and get themselves back in good shape.
Yep, I think this is really, really important. Making sure that the Pit Lord isn't complete free farm is also really crucial, because if he gets a fast mech, then I don't think they have much that they can really do, because they just don't have enough damage until Ursa starts to get quite a lot. So getting this kill quite early on means that Ursa gets a faster 6, like he can go for... When he gets 6, the Pit Lord really has to watch out, because then they have to have the Nyx around or the Rubik around to just stop the Pit Lord getting dived. I'm just worried already, because Podham's not really getting that much. She's kind of playing a pseudo core kind of thing now.
Yeah, I mean,
because
she's
been
getting
gifted the bottom lane.
XP, which I guess is okay. I mean, to be almost level 5 before 5 minutes on a, what was a support Mirana is not the worst thing ever, but yeah, you're not like running around finding SD Mirana kills, but with these advantage in levels, might be able to help get pickoffs right here onto what would have been a tanky Centaur. Right clicks out, arrow's not going to catch the target. Rose goes in for the Starstorm and makes great damage and will allow him to get the pickoff kill. BSJ, the farming Centaur, going to be going down in the bottom lane. Good gank movement coming in from NP. In particular, SVG, man, putting in a lot of mileage in the early game. Starts mid, floating around, goes top, makes a kill happen, comes bottom, and they make another kill happen.
It's just Axe is able to do stuff quite early, which is quite important. So he is not the I am farming Blink Dagger, see you guys in 10 minutes kind of Axe.
Yeah.
He is the I'm gonna fight with my team like a brave warrior. So I'm just watching mid now. Envy's going for his wand. He's got his bottle coming out as well. He's just crying.
Sorry, Rose caught within the trees. There's the lift, the stomp, the cut. 2 dunks each way as both supports will go down. Oh, swing and a miss from Eagle to catch with the stun. MSS eating a lot of damage there coming out from the double edge of BSJ, but they're not going to be able to get the finish there. Just a trade of supports. Back at mid lane, we'll try to keep eyes. Tomato sensing the trouble nearby as SVG and company were waiting maybe to make an approach on that mid lane, but they will not get their chance.
So Ass is just going to be, well, top CS right now is IX Mike, so he's going to have mana boots very shortly, and that is right now. And then, well, he's just going to keep pit lording away up here until either Aoi or someone else decides to say otherwise. There's a smoke coming around from these two, wrapping around onto Envy, but he has level 6. There is really no excuse for him dying.
Smoke from both sides, both going towards this mid lane. They were trying to catch Envy from behind, but he's actually already heading down towards that convenient little Invis rune, which will be able to snag up on the other side of the river. Tomato scouting out the top rune. He runs into the arrow combo coming out from SVG and Rose. Dive in, Starstorm. Can they get the finish between the two supports? Yes, they can. And that's the difference maker right there. Now mid lane, Envy gets good chains onto Eagle. It's going to be forcing out the stun. They get him with the damage. Double remnant. No commitment from Envy though. Okay.
He was on 149 mana at that point,
Just
and he
short.
pressed it, and he's like, yeah, you just get the little, I have no mana, and then he gets 150, and he's like, well, he's out of range now, so that's 2 remnants that I don't have.
Miscalculated, unfortunately.
Yep.
But whether the case may be, they get the takedown though of the OD, so that is still a big win for NP. Still have to worry about the ever-growing IX Mike Underlord here in the top lane. So they are going to look to make a go for it. Look at the sweep in from behind. SVG could spot him. Nearby Rose has the gun. Ready to go, but it's hard though. You know, people could TP in on that tier 1. The supports are missing from Freedom. They could make a counterplay.
It's quite hard though. There's so much damage.
Yeah.
Like Podham's level 6, Ursa, well, he's Ursa. And there's level 2 Soul Catcher as well, so. But they're just gonna pressure this lane, I think. IX Mike is, he's gonna place a ward, he feels that something is up. And something was up, but is no longer up. It's now just SVG kind of hitting his tower.
And there's actually no TPs on the supports of Freedom, so had they wanted to go, I don't know how much help Mike would have gotten, but yeah, Mike was just gonna deal with the push on his own right, it looks like for now. And we'll just kind of be steady from there on out. Where did BSJ head off to? Farming in his nearby woods. First item was a hood. Do you go for the Blink Dagger here now? I mean, it's a safe lane farming Centaur, so.
I would assume he would go for Blink Dagger because he's the only one that can really get anything like that at this point. So he's going to be the man that does stuff.
The nice thing though is they do have Eagle already at level 6, so they have Vendetta also for initiation purposes, if you will, or scouting purposes. Might find use out of it right here already onto MSS. There it is, the Vendetta already going to be going out. Eagle making chase here.
Vanguard, though. He's pretty tanky.
They're going to need to use everything they can. There's the stun. BSJ moves in. He gets the call off first. They're waiting. Disruption now shows up. SVG trying to help out his boy. MSS eating a lot of the damage, though. Now the Stampede comes off. MSS will be able to be a part of that kill before he drops himself. Rotations come in from Mike. They'll have to take the 1-for-1 trade, but losing BSJ to take down MSS, I don't think that was worth it at all. I mean, maybe if he wasn't able to get that call off first, it could have been done a bit faster, but I'm sure MP are not too withered from it.
Yep, they're okay with that. I'm just watching now. Envy's just farming away. He's farming enemy woods. He's pushing the lane out, so he's making good use of this time that Tomato has afforded him. Curtis, Aui's just farming top lane for a bit, so he's got his hand with the Dom now. Tomato, he's working towards his 4-staff, but he's getting ran at a bit. Jubei tanks the arrow for his buddy.
Yep, but now they put their focus onto Jubei. Good prison comes out, though, from Tomato. That would have been a very painful Starstorm. Not going to be happening. Oh, look at this. Envy's in trouble. Caught out inside Freedom Jungle. Gets the double chains. Where am I going to go? Not too far. Fade Bolt, and he runs his Dead Spirit just in front of him. That will be the end of Envy. Just a bit too far from home. And the game will be even now, 5-5.
Yeah, that play was worth it when there weren't any enemy heroes on that side of the map, but when they're all there, it becomes a bit less viable.
Aui,
no.
Making his exit from the top lane, gets spotted out from Eagle. Eagle not going to be able to get connection onto the stun. He did have some help nearby, but don't know if they would have been able to get the follow-up regardless. Whatever the case may be, they scare him out from there. And Envy again, he actually comes back to that Remnant. Eats a prison. And
he has literally no fear. I don't think he has any reason to have any fear at this point, actually. So, all cores kind of farming pretty evenly in this game. It's very, very even distribution. Like, NP are a bit ahead because Axe is richer than God, but he doesn't have a dagger and he won't for a while, so they still have this time to make stuff happen.
That was weird. MSS just goes for a TP right in front of the OD. The OD quickly realizes it. Throws him in the prison. Now MSS decides to leave. Envy's still over here as well. They'll dish out the Moonlight Shadow. They're looking to converge. MSS is trying to get close to Envy. Envy's caught between 3. Is able to run it and jump right back into trouble, though, in that mid lane. They still can't stop him, but there's Mike now. Mike eats the arrow coming out from Rose, and Envy's still good. BSJ not having any of it, trying to make chase. He will get chained down. What an awkward goose chase here, as Envy's going to make it all the way out from trouble. Not so fortunate, though, will be Rose. He gets just rooted down and destroyed. And Mike says, we'll just go back and fill up. Or to top lane, rather.
Yep, everyone is going to go farm here. Tomato's got his 4 stuff coming up fairly soon. But, yeah, it's going to be a while. Veil is not complete yet. Ember's pretty underfarmed for, I think, how well his lane went early on. He's going to go for harassment onto BSJ. BSJ acknowledges this and then presses his hood and then walks off.
And then Envy, Eagle trying to catch him with maybe a Carapace stun there. It's not going to be so fortunate, and they back on off. Very, very frisky team here. But MP will hold for now. So back to the grind and farm they go here. We're got to consider getting closer to Blink territory for some here. We have MSS, about 1,200 gold to save up. BSJ is about in the same neighborhood. But just as they're trying to continue their farm, the action doesn't stop as here comes Freedom rolling down below. They have the vision, so they throw Eagle into the disruption, but they'll be able to get the easy grab there onto SVG, allowing MSS to get the hell out of there as Freedom rotate over and take the pick off.
Man, Rubik with Fire Remnants is so fun. It's like one of the most fun things to play in the game, I think. But yeah, so you just got Aoi very close to his Blink Dagger. MSS not as close, but yeah, he said he's on that par with BSJ at this point in terms of that progression. I'm just worrying that, well, Mike's about to get a mech, but...
Oh, making it go. There goes the Purge. He pulls out the Stampede and quickly Freedom make their own move in. Disruption comes out, though, before the Remnants from Jubei. Now after Envy jumps out, he gets to jump right back, and they're going to be able to get the takedown of BSJ. MSS continues to fight on forward and gets the double dunk now as he takes out Jubei. Strong fight for MP, making it a 2-for-1 trade. Up and above, though, we catch the back end as Tomado gets spotted out between Rose and Aoi and will also go down. Making it very, very worthy here of MP as they even things right back up.
Smite Carver is having none of it. He's hitting a building, and I admire that. He is making known his ill will towards the building, and he is, well, he's off.
Yep. He will quickly try to take a wave and take himself right back to the beginning of that bottom lane. More on the objective path here for Sir Underlord. Which, I mean, is that the priority Freedom should be going for? You know, moving forward with more of the objective gaming, or?
I think no, their objective is a farmed OD, and then to take fights with, like, to get increasingly farmed on their supports to the point where Ember can't kill them anymore, and then NP can't really do much, and then fights get dragged on, and OD becomes this unstoppable god. Like, this draft is meant to be the OD show, for the most part.
MSS jumping in with what looks like the debut of his Blink Dagger. Gets the jump on BSJ and we'll be able to take him down. Mike shows up now, gets off the root, but they quickly look to turn onto him as they have outnumbered Freedom grossly here in the mid lane. Mike, desperate and in trouble, can't seem to be able to make it away. Then they're moving on to the next target already. Jumping on forward, good damage on the Jubei. Not enough to get the finish, I say that, but it's MSS with the alley-oop jump-in dunk. Getting the takedown of the Rubik. Now the call's going to be there. Stun, arrow, not quite connecting. Tomato tries to make it to the high ground, but he is burning away from the battle hunger. Actually, it ends, but I don't know, man. Stampede, he runs out and away. MSS looking to go for the jump, but he gets his blink canceled there from the illusion, and they will not be able to pursue. Still a strong movement here from MP, hoping to make even more out of it, but it looks like Tomato will be able to make it out on this day.
No centaur blink makes it very difficult to take these fights. Axe is getting increasingly stronger. He's looking towards a BKB now.
He's top net worth, man. MSS is the most farmed in this game. I'm not really surprised with the kill action he's been involved with, even starting earlier into the game. And this is like the second time I've seen far down stacks of Ancients. He's huge, man, and he's going for a BKB right away. Okay.
Yeah, I think Freedom just want to buckle down and just kind of go, we'll wait this out. We'll weather the storm for a bit. You got Nyx going for Midas. You got Centaur, well, he's still going for Blink. OD going towards Hurricane Pike. Will be for quite a while, and then he's going to have Hurricane Pike Blink, and then he's going to use that. But this game's going to become like the defense of the tier 2s quite shortly, unless they can take some kind of favorable fight. I'm just worried that OD is going to face the reality of having an act with a BKB Blink on him, and then Ursa's going to shred him.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have any saves to stop that from happening, other than just like straight up lifting the Ursa. But doing it that quickly, there's a lot of burst damage.
It looks like the BSJ Blink is going to be here momentarily. I don't know if that's the tool they're waiting for to take those fights that was mentioned, but it's got to be something here soon. Eagles going down pretty deep here. Just misses an opportunity to go for Rose as they round the corner all the way down below. I don't know what kind of fights they're going to be able to find here. It's not going to be too easy. And they're walking through sentries and stuff. I mean, they're kind of almost lucky that MP are not around to just spot them, but they spotted Owie. Eagle goes in, and just as Owie sees him, he blinks away. So that opportunity is now gone for Freedom.
Yep, it's just rough. It's really, really hard for them to do anything.
Yeah.
It's MP are playing very, very, very carefully. They're not showing any more heroes on the map than they need to. They're farming up the supports quite effectively. I think SVG is the only one who's really suffering here, sitting on 2.5k net worth, but you're an SD, you have disruption. It's kind of what you do. Yeah, but Rose farming, MSS definitely farming. Owie sort of farming. And, well, Envy's walking towards his blade now, so I'm just worried that, like, okay, there's going to be the Midas coming out on Nyx in about some point in the future. I have no idea when, because he could die or could not die at some point. But I'm just really worried that, yes, the Axe BKB, there's just going to be a fight, and then Odie's going to die, and then it's going to snowball out of control from there.
Yeah.
Because right now, it seems like there is a chance that they could take fights if it's maybe like defending their tier 2, if like EE overcommits, or they can use OD to save people. But like that hope is going to disappear very, very quickly if they're not very, very careful.
User entered your channel.
Well, now as we see, it's just kind of eyeballing each other here. MP recognizing that they have the potential and the advantage, but they'll use it. They take the Roche, and now they could take any fight before them here from Freedom, and it's Freedom, the team that really needs that fight. But as mentioned, I mean, MP are just going to have all the items they could ask for to kind of fend off any sort of aggression. And then where do you go from there if you're Freedom? I mean, I hate to be back in a point already where they just have to bank on some sort of element of surprise, but the supports are just nowhere to match. I mean, look at Rose. He just finished his Agnum Scepter. He's level 13 on a support Mirana. He's going to be able to maintain lanes himself.
The good thing about this is that NP supports while they have more farm, or one of them does, it's worse overall against Dire than like Dire supports are against Radiant, because Nyx, if this game does go on, he is going to be quite effective against the Ember. He is going to be effective against the Ursa, because the Ursa obviously is going to get Carapaced at some point. And he's good against Podham, because you have a guaranteed kill on the Ag sometimes.
Ooh, Owie. Boxing it out with Mike a bit here. Eats a couple of shots and backs on up. There goes the ulti right now. BSJ looking to charge in. Catches that out of position Shadow Demon, and they'll take full advantage of it. I mean, it's a storm that Freedom dished out, and MP only going to have to lose their support, their low net worth support. It's not really the end of the world.
Yep, Pros will get to work on this tier 1 bottom lane, and...
Jump in on Mike. The second that everyone leaves the top lane, MP recognize it and just make their move, taking advantage of Mike all by his lonesome. Mid lane, though, MSS doesn't stop there. Jumps in for the OD. Gets a few spins, but then we'll have to promptly back out to avoid the trouble coming in from Eagle. Now a rotation in from SVG. Dishes out the Purge. Dishes out the Soul Catcher here. MSS could come out and do some work, but there's going to be a quick disruption play, and now they put the stun back on MSS. They're going to drop the Sands Eclipse. That's going to be able to get the finish onto the Axe here. And now Envy shows up. It's going to be forcing Eagle back it away. He's got a Soul Catcher, though. Turns around. Envy only does the chains and will easily slide over and put work onto Eagle. Carapace will not stop him on this one, and it's going to be a double kill for Envy.
Yep. They've got a lot of farm on the Ember Spirit. He's going to have a Blade Mail now. He is not killable for the OD. The Ursa has a Deso, so he's the destroyer of buildings, the destroyer of OD, and pretty much anything he sets his eyes on. BSJ, he's got his 4 stuff coming up very quickly, so he's going to have a little bit of more survivability to deal with that Ursa. But overall, yeah, it's just the NP show for a bit. Tomato did get the kill on the Axe there, so he got a lot of gold there. He finished his Hurricane Pike, but he's still lacking that dagger. And the death after that immediately kind of cost him. It's just like, NP can afford to take this. They can lose one of their farm cores to kill the OD, and they'll take that pretty much every time. Because the OD is the only hero that is going to be the late game savior.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I keep hearing, and the OD is the end-all be-all here for Freedom. The Freedom focus is that OD beats ass, that he's the biggest, baddest, fighter in this game. But I'm looking at a 4th in net worth behind 3 of NP OD. He's got his work cut out for him here, or for his team to set some stuff up for him. And it looks like they could be doing it here and now. Mid lane, a beautiful setup for Envy. Absolute destruction. Still follow-up jumping coming out from MSS. He thinks that he can get a good response play here, even a buyback from Envy. And that is where Freedom look to run. They commit the Stampede, and they get the hell back, hoping that NP are going to waste this. And they're frantic to try to get a catch, and MSS will be able to do so. Prison, though, comes out from Tomato. And on Mike's return, he dishes out the root. Commitment in from Owie. They're still looking to make chase and can't get quite enough. Now the mech from Mike helps him keep him alive. A jumping comes out from Rose. Huge Starfall going to be doing the work, and now the cleanup will come in. Owie secures the double, and Freedom are still trying to make it back. Feeling like they were going to be safe under their tier 2, but they are not safe. Owie comes in and gets the slash and makes it a triple. MP still find huge value out of that counter fight and committing that buyback from Envy. I don't know, at that point, should Freedom have ran further? Was it the right time to try to turn and fight?
It seemed okay, but then they just got caught by a 3 or 4 man call, and then, yeah.
Oh,
fights do tend to go badly after that.
He tried to go in and go for that easy finish onto Owie, but it was not so easy. Owie just pops the ulti, shrugs it off, and they take him down, and it turns into a full 5-man wipe of Freedom, and it's going to cost him their mid-tier 3. A buyback will roll out now from Eagle, and it does scare them back, but MP have just gained so much from that. Let's look at the net worth, top 4 now, all belonging to them. This is looking grim for Freedom, Rhyme. Very grim.
Yep, it's not looking good. OD is very, very far behind. Centaur is slightly less behind, so we can look forward to him being more effective, but Blade Mail is his item of choice. He's probably going to be using that to deter the Ember Spirit for the most part. Ursa doesn't really care about such things.
MP are just looking to go for maybe a double big team fight and end this right out. And of all the people to get the jump on, it's Tomato, and he goes down just as fast as he gets jumped. Out for about a minute without a buyback right now, and the chase continues here. double chain's going to get connected on both Mike and Jubei. They'll try to turn around with the root and with everything they got, but that goes to the Veil, and here comes the damage. Desperate for a Dark Rift, but not even going to get the chance to finish casting the spell. Jubei will be next on the docket. He also dropped and dunked by MSS. 2 on the sidelines without a buyback. Here comes NB down this mid lane. This one could be over soon. NP set to walk away from this series 2-0 with 2 points. If they have a save.
Yeah, they're looking very, very good for that. Yeah, Aui's getting close to the BKB, Envy's getting close to BB, and well, MSS 4 stuff as well. So, yep, it's basically OD can't really do much because no matter what happens, there's going to be a BKB axe in his face, and then there's going to be an Ursa in his face, and then a Blade Mail Ember, and there's really not that much that well, anyone on Freedom can do about it. The Nyx is about to get a dagger and 150 gold. The Rubik, well, he dreamed of items once.
This is a support. Mirana chasing down BSJ because he knows trouble's coming from behind, and there's Envy catching him with the chains, follows it up with the arrow. He desperately tries to get off the stomp, but then leapfrog as Aoi hops over them to help with the finish. Monster kill for Aoi on this one. BSJ going to be brought down once more, and the ever-growing net worth advantage and lead of MP just continues to swell up even further. Feeling pretty confident. This time not waiting around and taking things as slow in the previous game. They seem to be able to take any fight that they feel is in front of them that's being that massive. Bottom lane, more of the same. Tomato stuck between both SVG and MSS. Goes for a desperate self-imprisonment, but can't escape the dunk, man. MSS shoves him down. Doesn't stop yet. Aoi mid lane, now godlike as he's able to get the finish at Jubei. There's Mike. He will be able to TP away.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike
is unkillable.
Yeah, how dare you?
Alright, so Eagle is about to get his Blink Dagger, and then he and Mike will hold a valiant defense of the high ground. I do not know to what end it will be.
Probably not great, but, you know, we'll see.
You can hold out hope, like I am.
That's like that power of friendship.
You know who just respawned? You know who just
BSJ,
respawned?
the best player in the world?
He is going to stop them. He doesn't need network.
He needs a
He
blade
has
mail.
his broadsword. He doesn't need a full blade mail. He needs a broadsword. That's what he needs right now. The 18 damage is going to allow him to... see, Rose comes into Starfall and has to flee at the sight of the center.
They have some ways to spam out these lanes and delay, but I don't know how much faith I would have in the Freedom high ground defense on this one.
Well, Tomato has gone AFK. Okay, no, he's back. He's back.
Okay, good.
So, he hasn't given up hope. Well, like, this OD, he's good against their heroes if he gets strong. I think I covered the topic of things being strong before, but he isn't strong right now.
No.
And he will not be for the foreseeable future. But if NP... Oh, yeah, he's...
it's that time.
Cancelling his animation on himself.
Smoke play. Here it is. I think this might be the Freedom do or die moment right here. They're gathered like a smoke.
Moment.
Okay,
but,
well, Jubei's holding it. Not sharing the loving quite yet.
Tomato's just cancelling Astral.
Now they'll go for it. This is it, maybe. Do or die. If you are a Freedom fan, put your hands in the air and get ready, because they need your energy, goddammit. Here they go. Are they going to be able to do it? Moonlight Shadow is also going to be there from Envy. They cross paths. They don't even know it. Now they make their move. It's a big jump in from MSS as he surrounds the entire team and just annihilates them. Freedom fans, put your hands back down because this one may be over. And they're going to get Tomato as well. He gets chained. He gets dunked. Okay. Well.
Well.
The broadsword just wasn't good enough on this day, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it really made the cut. Although, no, it was a blade mail for that fight.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe if he had the broadsword, I don't know.
Here comes NP now, looking to close things out and take the 2-0 win here. Freedom buybacks, but also low death timers, so obviously looking to save that. They could have 2 more final, little hurrahs to try to make a fight happen here. But they are already going to be down and handicapped 1 set of racks. Can they hold the second set? Let's find out here. As Eagle and Jubei first on the scene. Here comes Mike. What are Freedom going to do about this? Or will MP run away? Okay, jumping from Eagle.
Eagle's just running at them.
Eagle's like, let's just go for it, boys. Let's just go. He's dead, man.
And
he just died to the illusions, died to the purge, died to the Everything Shadow Demon had.
Oh, dear.
He's out. Tomorrow goes for a defensive prison. Emesis is there with the call. He gets the first dunk. There goes the Stampede.
BSJ's in.
They're
BSJ's
going
out.
in, and that's it. That's it. They just get quickly stuck. They stub their toe running in, trying to make a fight happen. Now they're dancing
Envy's
around.
gonna die.
They could get Envy here. Envy, though, Remnant's backing away. He's safe. The damage already been done, though, as the rack's going to be going down. There's another dunk. Freedom free to throw in the towel at any moment. They're going to see this one out. There goes the final hurrah, and that's going to be game 2-0 for Team NP to start out our day of Star Series action.
Yeah, well, that was pretty convincing. NP, they just ran at them. They got a lot out of the bottom on the safe lane. They basically made the best out of a bad situation. They realized that SD Podom couldn't really move and rotate around and pressure the OD, so they went, well, what if the Podom just has more farm than the OD? And she did. So, yeah.
Well, unfortunate day for Freedom. We got to see them try to pull out, their hand. They had their own unique, some unorthodox picks, some Freedom picks. We got to see the IMX Abaddon at game number 1, but what does it come down to? MP just still kind of outclassing them a little bit, have a better idea of the game so far, brought forward some stronger drafts. Like what can Freedom take away from a series like this and hope to apply it for future games?
I think they just need to work on when the early game transitions into mid game. Like, there's a few moves that NP just make. They rotate the blink reveal on Axe immediately gets kills. The Veil and the first fight with Veil and Ember, they get loads of kills. The Ursa getting kills early in lane. Like, SVG managed to make good rotations. Like, I think Freedom they don't seem very comfortable playing at this level. Like, I don't know. They're just making mistakes, I think. Their draft felt like it was good in like the mid to late game, but they couldn't really get there without having every single hero die like 4 or 5 times. And I'm just kind of worried that, yeah.
We'll have to see where Freedom go from here. Still trying to fight through this group stage. I'm going to show a score chart now. This might be this might not be totally updated, as obviously will not apply the matches we just saw from MP. Currently, Digital Chaos still sitting there at the top. We saw them yesterday take both series. One was a DQ, so they got the free 2 points there, but then they also quickly crushed Doo-Wop and took those 2 points, so they have 2 series of 2-0s and 1 tied series of 1-1 against NP, puts them at the top with 7 points. NP taking these 2 points will push them right up and behind where Digital Chaos are, so it is still a fight for that third, fourth kind of position right now with Complexity there and everyone else kind of in the same window. So these games very important for all these other teams. But coming up next, we're going to be going into Infamous versus Team Onyx. Should be a doozy of a time. Rhyme, I know that we are not going to be able to have you as a co-caster, but any early impressions about that matchup before I let you go? Infamous versus Onyx?
I think Team Onyx are looking pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing how they play, like especially mid-game. Infamous, they play a very, very similar style in most of their games, but I feel like if you've seen one, you've seen them all, but I don't think, maybe they've changed it up recently, but I'm mostly going to be looking at Team Onyx in that matchup, I think.
All right, sounds good. We are going to be having Tsunami in as my co-caster for that matchup. Should be an awesome time, but Rhyme, thank you so much for your time. If you guys want to show some love to Rhyme, go hit him up on his Twitter at RhymeDota, and I know I'll be casting with you more Star Series action, I believe, next week. So it's just going to be awesome time. Thank you so much. And for everyone else, we'll see you soon for our next series, Infamous versus Team Onyx.